On a sun-warmed meadow, a fly named Fuzz was born, its wings trembling slightly as it emerged from its cocoon, the transparent membranes reflecting the morning dew's glow. Fuzz didn't know it was a fly, nor did it grasp the vastness of the world. It only knew hunger. Driven by instinct, it buzzed toward a sweet scent, landing on a forgotten crumb of jam-covered bread in the grass, sucking the sweet nectar with its tiny proboscis. In that moment it felt like the happiest creature alive, but this joy was fleeting. A sudden gust flipped it over, the breadcrumb snatched by a human hand. Fuzz took flight in panic, feeling the fragility of life for the first time. It hovered in the air, its 6 legs trembling, compound eyes capturing countless fragments of light and shadow, swaying grass, distant trees looming like giant beasts, the sky so blue it filled Fuzz with boundless fear. It didn't understand what this meant, but it knew it had to survive, so it flew toward a nearby dandelion, drawn by the scent of nectar and the buzzing of other flies. Landing on a petal, it found a group of its kind sharing the flower's sweetness. It tried to approach, but a larger fly pushed it away with its wings, emitting a low buzz as if warning Fuzz this was its territory. Fuzz didn't understand territory, but it felt a strange hostility, so it retreated, flying to another flower with thinner, less sweet nectar. Learning its first lesson, not everything in this world belonged to it. Survival required compromise. Undeterred, Fuzz explored further, soaring over grass, skimming a stream, its water reflecting sunlight like a shimmering mirror. Fuzz landed on a leaf by the water's edge, trying to drink, nearly swept away by a frog's tongue. It escaped by a hair, its heart, if it had one, pounding fiercely. This moment taught Fuzz the world was full of dangers. Frogs, wind, even other flies were its enemies. But it also discovered its strengths, agile wings and compound eyes that saw nearly every direction, giving it a chance to escape peril. Fuzz flew on, arriving at a human dwelling, a farmhouse with an open window wafting fruit scents. It darted inside, spotting a plate of fresh bread and an open jar of honey. It dove toward the honey, only to get trapped in its sticky depths, wings glued, 6 legs thrashing, sinking deeper. Fuzz felt despair for the first time, certain its life would end in this sweet trap. But then a spider descended from the ceiling, its 8 eyes glinting coldly. Fuzz's instincts screamed fear. With a desperate buzz it freed itself from the honey just as the spider's web grazed it, landing on the windowsill, panting. This taught it that temptation often hid deadly danger. The farmhouse was both wondrous and perilous. Fuzz met more flies, some stronger, some slyer, vying for scraps in human garbage. It learned to snatch a bite in chaos, to dodge a human swatting newspaper. It began to understand the world, though it couldn't articulate it. Fuzz started pondering its existence. Why was it a fly? Why was this world so complex? It passed a mirror in the farmhouse, seeing its tiny body, huge compound eyes, transparent wings. It didn't find itself ugly, rather a marvelous creation. Fuzz's adventures didn't end at the farmhouse. One day a strong wind swept it out the window into an unfamiliar forest, the air damp, filled with the scent of rotting leaves and mushrooms. There Fuzz met an old fly, its wings tattered, flightless, nimble, but its eyes gleamed with wisdom. The old fly told Fuzz every fly had a purpose. Some spread pollen, some cleared decay, others became food for larger creatures. Fuzz asked what its purpose was. The old fly buzzed a laugh, saying it must find that itself. Fuzz didn't fully understand but remembered the words, so it flew on, over forests, rivers, into a human city, where buildings towered like mountains. Traffic flowed like rivers, humans hurried along streets. Fuzz once landed on a billboard depicting a giant fly with human text it couldn't read, yet it sensed a magnified, distorted version of itself, wondering if humans, 2. Questioned their existence. City life was thrilling yet dangerous. Fuzz found feasts in trash cans, nearly froze in an air conditioner's blast. It learned to weave through traffic lights, to find safety amid human footsteps. But it grew weary, the world too vast, too complex. Fuzz longed for the simple meadow, safe despite its simplicity. One day it flew into a laboratory, filled with strange smells and sounds, glass vials holding liquids, papers, and instruments scattered on tables. Fuzz landed near a microscope, only to be gently caught by a human finger, placed in a clear container. It panicked, thinking death was near, but the human didn't harm it. Instead, observing it under the microscope, Fuzz didn't know its compound eyes became a radiant rainbow under the lens, nor that the human studied its vision to understand how it saw the world. Fuzz only felt magnified, watched, a mix of fear and curiosity. Eventually released, it flew out, carrying a strange awe. Realizing its tiny existence could draw such attention, this sparked new thoughts about its purpose. Perhaps not a specific goal, but to be part of the world. Whether cleaning decay or being studied, its existence mattered. Fuzz journeyed on, over oceans, deserts, snow-capped mountains, witnessing life's impermanence and the world's grandeur. Trapped in a tree hollow during a storm, soaring freely under starry skies, meeting countless kin and foes. Each experience made it stronger, wiser. Fuzz began to grasp the old fly's words. Purpose wasn't a fixed answer, but a process of exploration. Life's meaning lay not in the destination, but in every choice, struggle, and flight along the way. As Fuzz's wings grew frail, its eyes dimmed, it knew its time was short. It returned to the meadow where it was born. Dew still glistened, dandelions still bloomed. Fuzz rested on a flower, feeling the sun's warmth, reflecting on its journey, the dangers, wonders, and thoughts. It felt fulfilled. It had lived, truly lived. It closed its eyes, letting the wind carry its final breath. Behind it, a new fly broke from its cocoon, buzzing into the unknown. Fuzz's story ended, but the story of flies would never cease, for this world always held new lives to explore, struggle, and soar. Do you still like today's story? If you like, please remember to subscribe to this channel and click the like icon. You can receive notifications and hear the latest stories as soon as possible. Good night, my baby.